In this video, we are going to look at truth in lending. Truth in lending, this is an act that was passed in 1968. It addressed two major issues. So one of those issues was, how can you tell what the true annual interest rate that a lender is charging, right? And then the second thing is, how much of the finance charge are we entitled to save if we pay off a loan sooner than originally scheduled, right? So if I'm paying off $200 a month over the next 30 years, and I finish paying, I decide I want to just pay it all off 10 years early. Well, some of that $200 each of those months was interest. And because I'm paying it off 10 years early, the bank doesn't really need to charge me for that unearned interest. They're able to have that money back. And so I'm not borrowing that money over that final 10 years. And so some of those payments, that $200 payment is interest they haven't really earned. And so that's what we're going to look at here. So as we look at this, one of the big ideas, one of the big things that shows up is the APR, the annual percentage rate. This is known as the true annual interest rate. It is standardized by the Truth in Lending Act, and so you'll have a table that looks like this. We will refer back to this table quite a bit, and we will use this table in a variety of ways. Things that you should notice about this table is, over here on the side, you have the number of monthly payments that will be made over the course of that loan. Up here at the top, you have the APR, the annual percent rate. And then here in the body of the table, this is this value H. This is the finance charge, but it's not just the finance charge. It's the finance charge per $100 of amount to be financed. So you'll find out how much interest are you going to have to pay. Based on that amount of interest, what is the amount that you're actually borrowing, and you'll find out how much interest are you paying per $100, or what is your finance charge per $100. Now, that finance charge, I say interest, it doesn't have to be interest, but that's the easiest thing to think about, at least initially. All right, so let's look at an example. Ann and Andy's dishwasher dies unexpectedly. They decide to finance, and it costs $500 with $100 down. This loan was only 6% add-on interest for 18 months. We want to find the APR of their loan. All right, so the process of going through to finding this APR is, first you need to identify what is the amount to be financed. How much are we borrowing? So the cost is $500, but we're not borrowing that full $500 because we have to pay $100 down. So we're only going to borrow $400. That's how much we are financing. Of that $400 that we are financing, the amount of interest that we are going to be charged, it's add-on interest, so this will be a simple interest that's added on. Our principal is $400 times our rate of 0.06 times the time. Now, that's 6% of annual interest, and so the time is not going to be 18 months, but we will write it as 1.5 years, right? So 18 months is equal to 18 over 12, which is 1.5 years. And so when we find this, our finance charge is going to be $36. So we've borrowed $400. They're going to charge us $36 in interest. So we now want to find out, what is the finance charge per $100 financed. And so to find that, we will take our finance charge divided by the amount financed, and then you'll multiply that by 100, And so here we have 36 is how much we're going to pay in interest. We borrowed 4,400. And so when we go through and calculate this, we end up with $9. So we have to pay $9 in interest per $100 borrowed. Great. So now, how do we find out what is our APR? And this final step is perhaps the simplest step, because now all we need to do is take all the information that we've accumulated and go back to the table. And so we know that we have $9 per 100, and we are paying this off over 18 months. So we're going to turn back to our previous page. We're going to look in the 18-month row. And as we move down this 18 months row, we want to find out what is the closest value in the body of the table to $9. And so as we move down, we see $8.93 and then $9.35. So the closest value is $8.93. And then we draw that back up and we say that our APR is 11%. So 11% is our APR. We looked in the row N equals 18 because we paid off over 18 months. And our closest value to 9 per 100 was $8.93. And that was in the 11% column. So you don't have to write all of this, but as you are thinking about what was that process, how did we come up with that 11%, this is the process. We looked in row N equals 18, since we were paying this off over 18 months, and we found the value in the body of that table that was closest to that $9, and then we traced that back up to find what was the APR. All right, in our next video, we will look at unearned interest, and there are going to be two different methods, so we'll deal with those in two different videos. So we will see you back here next time.